The Johto region, one of my favorite regions in the Pokemon universe, easily top 3. But I have a secret. I am a fraud. My first experience with the Johto region wasn't with Pokemon Gold, Silver, or Crystal. It was with Pokemon Soul Silver on the DS. And that's not what makes me a fraud. No, those games are incredible. I think anybody who prefers Heart Gold and Soul Silver over original Gen 2 is completely valid. No, I am a fraud because I've never fully finished a Generation 2 game before. I played a little bit of Pokemon Crystal when I was a kid. My neighbor Sky owned a copy of it and I would borrow it sometimes. And whenever Gen 1 and Gen 2 were released on the 3DS Virtual Console, I played a little bit of Crystal on my original purple 3DS. But I have never fully played through Gen 2's Johto, only Gen 4's. So my game plan for 2025 was pretty simple. I want to start 2025 off right and play through Generation 2 properly for the first time almost 26 years later. It's time to find out if I like the original Johto region, or will Generation 4's Johto region forever be my favorite because I'm a sucker for the DS era. Am I a fraud? There's only one way to find out. This journey started back in December of 2024 on my Pokemon Gold cartridge. I 100% agree that the best way to experience Generation 2 is to probably play Pokemon Crystal, kind of like how I would recommend playing Platinum over Diamond and Pearl, but I really wanted this Gen 2 experience to be a first time experience, so I decided to play my copy of Gold instead, a game I have never played before. And like all great playthroughs of Pokemon games, this playthrough started off with a shiny hunt. See, I had just finished the behemoth that was my Pokemon Shield badge quest. Not only did that quest take forever, but also so did the editing. So I wanted to do a complete vibe shift and start a shiny hunt that was literally the opposite of any shiny hunt in Generation 8. And I feel like Generation 2 is that. I decided to shiny hunt for Cyndaquil in my copy of Gold because those purple flames look incredible. Not sure why Cyndaquil's shiny looks like this now when it used to be Peak, but that's okay. He is still a cute little guy. It's fine. The shiny hunt started on December 1st, with the shiny odds being 1 in 8,192. I knew we were gonna be here for a while, so I was oh my god, oh my well, okay then. Shiny Cyndaquil! Shiny Cyndaquil after 440 soft resets. This is my fastest 8192 shiny hunt ever, and probably will continue to be my fastest 8192 shiny hunt. I don't think I'll ever get this lucky again. But after going over odds so many times during the end of my Pokemon Shield badge quest, this was a really nice surprise and the perfect start to my Generation 2 journey. My playthrough of Pokemon Gold started in Colorado while I was out of town for Christmas holiday. There was something really magical about playing Pokemon curled up on the couch while it was snowing outside and the Christmas tree was reflected off of my Game Boy SP. Truly peak Pokemon vibes. While the snow fell, I used my shiny Cyndaquil to take on my brand new rival who I named Cookie. Cyndaquil and I cooked every Bellsprout we saw and made our way to Violet City, home of the first badge in Johto. I took on the Bellsprout Tower, the first proper dungeon or trainer gauntlet of Generation 2. And because these fights were super easy for my fire type starter, I was able to level up pretty quickly. So quickly that my Cyndaquil evolved before the first gym fight. I took on Falkner, Johto's first gym leader, while Adef and I were sitting at the airport waiting for our flight home after our holiday.
He's dead.
Point the camera at me. He's cheating.
Don't know how Falkner has this level 9 Pidgeotto, but that's fine.
My dad's cherished bird Pokemon. Like, he's not even...
Dude, this kid is so grim.
Didn't...
Cool badge name, though. The Zephyr badge.
Alright, this was riveting footage.
And after a long day of travel, I made it back home. And on New Year's Eve, I did what any sane and normal person does to ring in the new year. I caught a Bellsprout in Pokemon Gold and named it Roku City. I've played the beginning part of Generation 2 quite a few times. So this first part of the game, I wasn't feeling anything too exciting. I really like Johto, but the beginning is just kind of same old, same old. However, it was really neat to see my Cyndaquil, now Quilava, shine every time I sent it out to battle. I really love Quilava's sprite, and when I looked it up, I found out that Pokemon Gold, Silver, and sometimes Crystal all had different front-facing Pokemon sprites. My Quilava looked like this in Gold version, but in Silver, it looked like this. And in Crystal, oh lord, he's standing up. This is such a cool feature that I really enjoy, and I wish the modern games did this. In Generation 1, Red and Blue shared the same sprites, but Yellow had new sprites, and Generation 4 did the same. Diamond and Pearl sharing sprites, and then Platinum introducing new ones. But Gold and Silver are, to my knowledge, the only games that introduce sprites as version exclusives between the pair of games. But there are also some sprites that are the same. It's pretty neat. So it's a very cool version exclusive. Back to my playthrough of Gold, I made my way to Azalea Town, one of my favorite towns in the Johto region. The Gen 2 Overworld Slowpoke sprite is genuinely one of my favorite things to ever exist, so much so that it is my Discord profile picture. I just love this guy so much. This is our first introduction to Team Rocket in Generation 2, and it's a pretty extreme introduction. Team Rocket has taken over Azalea's well, called Slowpoke Well, so that they can cut off the tails of Slowpoke and make a profit selling them. Insane. We saw how evil Team Rocket was under Giovanni's influence in Generation 1. They literally killed Cubone's mother while taking over the Pokemon Tower. So seeing them physically harm Pokemon wasn't, I guess, anything new. Just the fact that they were doing it to so many Pokemon is pretty upsetting.
There he is. My Discord profile picture. My boy.
While in Azalea, the egg that I received after beating the first gym hatched into an adorable Togepi, and I boxed her and took on the Rocket Grunts in the well. A pretty easy fight since a lot of these guys just got Zubats, and after rescuing the Slowpoke from Team Rocket, we chat with Kurt, who makes Pokeballs out of apricorns. Apricorns are a fruit that grow in various trees spread out through Johto, and I found them super fun to check during my playthrough. Every day when I started up my copy of Gold, I would have Kurt make me a Pokeball. It was a really fun daily task, and I got some cool balls from it. I really love the introduction of daily events in Generation 2 and the day and night cycle. It makes for a ton of replayability in my opinion.
Poppin', what are you doing, buddy?
After Poffin rudely interrupted me, I took on Bugsy, the bug-type gym leader, and got my second badge.
Don't know what, Bugsy is trying to accomplish with this Metapod, but that's alright.
This fight was super easy for me because I had a fire type. Bugsy's Scyther is no joke and makes Bugsy a pretty memorable gym leader in my opinion.
It's built like a tank, man. It is a literal tank. Tanking 2 embers like that, good lord. Or 1 ember, I guess. It is now dead. Right, Poffin? Oh, good. Another audience member has joined.
Thankfully, Scyther didn't cause any problems here, and I was able to secure my second Johto gym badge.
Just accidentally topped poison powder over Vine Whip, and now I gotta reset my game.
After battling Cookie and making my way through the Elix Forest, I found myself in Goldenrod. You get the ability to nickname Pokemon in this town, so I was finally able to nickname my shiny starter, and I chose the nickname Sriracha. Goldenrod is so giant and super fun to explore. The underground tunnel is super neat, and I love how much there is to do here. Feels like a puzzle trying to get to certain buildings because of how big the town is. And one of the most hard to reach buildings is the bike shop. I grabbed my bike and made my way to the third gym, the normal type gym.
God, give me strength for this gym. Cleffa, give me strength for this gym.
I think one of the reasons why I love Johto so much is simply because of this gym fight. It really doesn't matter which starter Pokemon you choose, unless you got a female starter. Whitney's gym is insanely tough. And I love it. I love how Attract can really screw you over, and Rollout builds in power when you can't hit that dang cow. And once you finally do hit Miltank, it doesn't even matter sometimes because it has the move Milk Drink. So there you are, infatuated by your love for this cow, and you can't hit it because you're so infatuated. And while you're so infatuated and confused and what is going on, blinded by love, there's Miltank just drinking its own milk to heal its HP. It's quite the sight to think about. And it forces the player to come up with interesting strategies. In the past, I've used a Focus Energy Eradicate to try and crit the Miltank, and I've used Confuse Ray with Zubat. But in this playthrough, I poisoned Miltank with Roku City.
Maybe she will miss and I can like get a poison off somehow. Oh, okay, the prophecy. Oh my god! Wow, she really cannot hit. We have definitely put a wrench in her plans to roll out us. Let's see. Oh, man, okay. Oh my god. Probably Milk Drink. Oh, I forgot about that. That's what makes this fight hell. Come on, Sriracha. Sriracha! Ay, Sriracha. Really? Can we not raise our standards even a little bit here? Sriracha! Sriracha, please. Okay, I think this is it. Oh my god. But the poison probably takes it out, right? Nice. Huge.
I think this fight is just super cool, and it lets you come up with a lot of neat counters. So much of my Pokemon battles as a kid were just over leveling and hitting hard, but this battle was one of the first battles where I had to actually really think about strategy. And I know it's cheesy, I understand that, but truly I think I will always be grateful to this fight for that.
Oh my god. This sprite is incredible. Look at her. She's so tiny. It's giving Cleffa.
After securing the gym badge, I made my way up north of Goldenrod, and it was time to enter Peak, my favorite spot of Generation 2. Please rise for the Song of the People, Peak Pokemon music, and my personal favorite song in all of the Pokemon franchise, National Park. I love this area. It is just so beautiful, and the song genuinely is able to bring me to tears. I'd love to hear in the comments if you also have a Pokemon song that makes you feel this way, just that feeling of welling up with nostalgia and emotion. While I was here, I ended up taking on the bug catching contest, which is held in the park every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. This is such a fun little activity that once again adds to that replayability of Johto that I mentioned earlier. The contest is really simple. You just compete against NPCs to see who can catch the best bug-type Pokemon in 20 minutes. And there are so many fun little bits of trivia when it comes to the bug-catching contest. And all sorts of things can affect how your Pokemon scores, like how much HP your Pokemon has when you catch it, or if the Pokemon you catch is holding an item. Up to 29 points can be earned based on the Pokemon's IVs, and Bulbapedia mentions that if you find a shiny Pokemon during the contest, it will guarantee you all 29 of those points. I love that.
Ooh, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, level 14. I don't know if that's gonna be good enough. We'll see. Nice, okay. We can find something higher level. I genuinely feel like a level 17 Kakuna will go harder than a level 14 Scyther. But maybe I don't know anything. Okay, Pinsir. Pinsir is here, level 14. I'm just gonna try to throw a bunch of balls and see if we can get it at like full health. Probably not, but let's try. Oh, let's go. Full health Pinsir. Surely we win this, right? Am I ready for this? I don't know. Third place, Camper Berry with a Kakuna. Second was me, Pinsir, second place. 339. It's gonna be like a Caterpie. Oh, they got a Pinsir as well. Okay, they cooked. Okay, they cooked. 371. All right, what is the... Oh, an Everstone. That's awesome. What shall I nickname it? It's a girly. Dose. for second.
After securing not first in the bug catching contest, I made my way to the next city. I ended up catching my next party member, a Hoot Hoot named Lemon. Real ones will get this reference. And while I was walking, I was stopped by this tree Pokemon. This static Sudowoodo encounter in Gen 2 is a shiny hunt that I want to do very badly one day. It hurt a little bit catching it and moving on, but I'll be back for you, Wiggly Tree. And also, I named him Wiggle and made my way to Ecruteak. I'm pretty used to the Pokemon Crystal and Heart Gold Soul Silver cutscene in the Burn Tower, so I was kind of expecting that here in Pokemon Gold, but no. I just battled my rival and got my first taste of the insane level curve of Generation 2.
There's something beautiful about KOing a Magnemite, it must be said. Good lord, this fight was so hard. I really struggled with this. I did forget to heal beforehand, but good lord. All of his Pokemon were such a high level, and I got like nothing.
And I checked out the legendary beasts all by my lonesome.
Very cool. Would be even cooler if Poppin weren't just yanking at his nails over here. Good lord. He is giving himself the most aggressive bath and pedicure I have ever heard.
There was a ton to do in Ecruteak, not to mention the next gym badge of our journey, but first I went to battle the Kimono Girls at the dance hall. This is something I associate with the late game because of Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, so I was a little nervous about these fights, but they ended up being pretty easy and helped me register the evolutions into my dex. And finally it was time to take on Morty's Ghost type gym, and Lemon the Hoot Hoot evolved into a Noctowl just in time.
Truly these gym fights have been super easy because everybody just curses themselves and then you know, I just gotta hit them once more and then switch out my Pokemon. See, they always just curse themselves and then we're good to go. All right, let's see if we can take out this Gengar pretty swiftly. If not, I might have an awakening of some sort. Oh boy. I just remember in Heart Gold Soul Silver, Gengar being pretty scary. Okay, peck me all you want, buddy. And there is our 4th gym badge. We're halfway through the Johto gym badges, which feels pretty cool.
I didn't know this at the time, but this TM would be a huge game changer later on in my playthrough. Now with 4 Johto gym badges, I made my way to the next major city and explored the Johto region on the way.
I'm hoping I got enough berries to heal this Miltank, man. I think I have 4. Don't know how many she needs, but probably more than that. I think that's all I have. Oh, no, I can do... Nah!
After making it into Olivine City, I bumped into Cookie, rude as ever. It was really fun to just play this game on my couch while my cats just kind of climbed all over me. I was playing a lot of Pokemon Gold for some escapism from the real world, and it was really nice. Pokemon really does have the power to kind of let you forget your troubles and become a kid again, and that is exactly what I did.
I am obsessed with this sprite. It is the funniest. His eyes are huge. He's like so stressed. Oh, hi, Cleffa. Hello. Oh my god. Okay.
After some trainer battles in the lighthouse, Roku City evolved from a Bellsprout into a Weepin' Bell and would stay like this for quite some time. Until the post game, actually. So yeah, this is a huge complaint for the Gen 2 games. And listen, man, I get it. A lot of Johto Pokemon, good TMs, and evolution stones are locked behind the post game. So if you choose to raise a Bellsprout on your team, you will not be able to evolve that thing until you beat the Elite Four. Definitely annoying and a weird design choice, but with a lot of the Generation 2 complaints, I try to remind myself that these flaws were just kind of a product of the time, you know? There was absolutely still some like learning going on and hardware limitations, but you know, that doesn't make the game any less frustrating. And in my little humble opinion, Johto Pokemon being locked behind the Kanto region kind of hurts Johto's individuality as a region. It just kind of lumps it together with the Kanto region. While enjoying GDQ on my couch, I continued battling the crazy amount of trainers in the Olivine Lighthouse. Once at the top, I met Jasmine, who asked me to visit Cianwood to get some medicine for the sick Ampharos at the top of the lighthouse, who usually lights the sea. There are so many trainer battles between Morty's gym and the next gym you choose to take on, but thankfully Chuck and Jasmine's gym badges are back to back, which kind of helps with the pacing a little. I ran into one of the weak siblings, W-E-E-K, while I was on my way to Cianwood, Monica. The weak siblings are a really cool feature that make use of the built-in clock system in Generation 2. Throughout the Johto region, there are 7 siblings who appear at specific locations depending on the day, and just by chance, I happened to run into Monica Monday on Route 40. Each sibling will give you a cool item if you run into them on their designated day, so I got a sharp beak to give to Lemon, a very neat feature to once again keep players checking and exploring their game every day. Cianwood City is one of my favorite cities in the Johto region, and I don't really know why, because there's not much to do here. I have very fond memories of when I was younger, sitting in this city and just like letting the music play on my DS, so the nostalgia is very real with the city, and it's probably why I like it so much.
This diva just lived on 1 HP. Shout out Lemon. Holy moly, dude. These gym trainers are beefed up. They're like level 27. I just got through battling a bunch of trainers who had like level 17s, and so I was like, okay, we're cooking, we're fine. Gym is gonna be easy. No, dude, what the hell? It's absolutely crazy. This gym fight is not gonna go well. I can just feel it. My Noctowl only has one good flying move, and by one good flying move, I mean one flying move, and it's Peck. Why does this sprite kind of look like Toadstool walking?
Lemon the Noctowl and Roku City helped me secure the victory with this gym battle, and Poison Powder really carried me through this one.
Roku City, wake up. The city needs you. Let's see if we can hit a Vine Whip here. Oh my god. Okay, well, there you have it. Roku City didn't do anything, but hit a Poison Powder. I'll take it. A win's a win, you know?
And finally, with HMO2 Fly, I was able to navigate throughout the Johto region a lot easier.
Poppin', you ready?
I went and saved the Ampharos at the lighthouse and took on the Steel-type gym leader, Jasmine. Steel types are in my top 3 favorite types of all time, so I've always really loved Jasmine. And this was yet again another gym battle that made me realize my team was super underleveled.
Level 35?
But thankfully, Sriracha made the battle pretty easy. After snagging the 6th gym badge, I decided to do a little bit of housekeeping while on my way to the next town.
Maybe I have enough to fix Miltank? Still not enough. Wow, goodness. Oh, just kidding. I had another one. Oh my god. Let's go! Yay! This always makes me feel so much better when I do this, when I play through Johto.
And after passing through Ecruteak again and heading east, I made it into Mahogany Town. Like most people, I just kind of associate this town with Team Rocket, candy bars, and that is it. I talked to a few of the townies and made my way up north to the Lake of Rage to catch another shiny Pokemon for the team. And while I walked, I ran into Girafarig, which I decided just spur of the moment to add to the team. I really wanted to use Gen 2 Pokemon that I had never used before on my squad, so welcome to the team, Silly the Giraffe. I really like the Pokemon introduced in Generation 2, especially the legendaries, but it is very annoying that a lot of really cool Gen 2 Pokemon like Slugma and Murkrow can only be found after you beat the Elite Four. Larvitar can literally only be found at Mount Silver, one of the greatest Gen 2 Pokemon ever, and I just can't use him.
Some cookie guy made fun of my Pokemon. Oh, that's funny.
While walking to the Lake of Rage, I happened to run into Wesley on a Wednesday, another weak sibling, as well as Suicune, who has no unique legendary battle music, so this was quite the shock to see.
Well, y'all, it's time to catch this red Gyarados. Oh, neat. It literally is a red Gyarados. Alright, let's see the sparkle. So cool.
After catching Wake, the shiny Gyarados, I ran into Lance for the first time. A very fun callback for the Kanto region enjoyers. He filled me in on the Lake of Rage tea and the mysterious radio broadcast happening back in the town, so it was time to investigate.
A mysterious radio broadcast coming from Mahogany is the cause for the Magikarp? Oh my god, he just... Okay. Honestly, of all the people in Mahogany Town, I don't even think the guys in here are that suspicious. I think this guy should be in jail.
The rocket hideout is super tedious with the amount of rocket grunts that bombard you at the statues. It's a lot of fighting the same low-level Pokemon. Pretty boring fights. I wish they had higher level Pokemon so that I would feel more confident going into these gym leader battles, but it's fine. I'm in the acceptance phase of my relationship with Johto's level curve, so I'll just grind up my team fighting poor innocent Pidgey and Bellsprout. After battling the various grunts and rocket executives, Lance and I knocked out all of the electrode powering the weird radio signal in the hideout. This is yet another static Pokemon I'd like to shiny hunt, but instead I just caught one. I named it Sonic and knocked out the rest. I had full plans to use this Electrode on my team, but this is Electrode's moveset, not a single electric type. So yeah. It was time to take on the 7th gym leader of the Johto region, Pryce. Pryce is an ice type leader, yet another typing that is going to be quite easy with my shiny starter. I spent probably a little too much time on this ice puzzle. But Sriracha's Flame Wheels made this gym a breeze, and I easily secured my second to last Johto gym badge. After basking in my victory for literally not even a second, Professor Elm calls to tell me about a weird broadcast on the radio. I turned on my Pokegear to find out that Team Rocket had taken over the radio tower, hoping their broadcast would reach Giovanni, the former leader of Team Rocket. So I backtracked to Goldenrod City to battle a bunch of rocket grunts at the radio tower. These grunt battles are tedious just as they were before, but let's just keep it real here. The majority of Pokemon grunt battles are tedious, annoying, and the same Pokemon every time. But I also discovered my new favorite move animation while fighting these grunts.
This is very funny to me. It's so tiny. It's like a little starfish. That minimize thing was so funny. That genuinely made my night.
So that's a plus. I really like that Team Rocket makes use of the underground in Goldenrod City, kind of showing off just how giant the city actually is. And while in the underground, Sriracha evolved.
Oh boy, shiny Typhlosion. Oh my god. That looks so awesome. Honestly, I like the cool lava sprite more, but Typhlosion looks great.
I struggled with this really simple puzzle simply because I didn't talk to one single grunt.
I don't know what I'm doing at all. I have been trying to solve this.
But after the struggle, I rescued the radio tower's director that Team Rocket kidnapped, and just like that, Team Rocket had already been dealt with. Despite little to no iconic rocket battles in this game, I find the Team Rocket plotline in Generation 2 quite memorable just because of that first encounter the player has at Slowpoke Well, and also the shiny Gyarados. A lot of people's first encounter with a shiny Pokemon was thanks to Team Rocket. The Slowpoke Well takeover is an interesting story beat, and I like that the overall Rocket story kind of ties up the loose ends of the story from Generation 1. I also love how Heart Gold and Soul Silver lets the player disguise themselves as a rocket grunt. I know a lot of people find it lame to see Team Rocket again, and while this plotline isn't really that exciting or anything, I do think the encounters with Team Rocket are iconic, and I wish a very merry I hope your tail grows back to every Slowpoke that Team Rocket encountered. While Team Rocket blasted off again, I headed east to finish off my Johto gym journey in Blackthorn City. I had to solve some ice puzzles and strength puzzles on the ice path before I got there, but I finally got there. I think the ice path is a super cool cave to have right before this city because it gives the player the option to catch an ice type Pokemon before their final gym battle against Claire, a dragon type leader. I did a little bit of exploring throughout the city before finally taking on the final gym badge. I think that Claire is one of the most difficult gym leaders in Johto. A lot of her Pokemon just paralyze you, making the battle so slow and tedious. It also didn't help that I was, again, super underleveled, but I had a ton of revives, and somehow, someway, I was able to pull off a victory. Shout out Medicine. But just like Whitney, Claire refuses to give me a gym badge. She asks me to prove myself by going into the dragon den behind the gym and just finding a dragon fang. Because most of my memories with Johto come from Generation 4, I was fully expecting this dragon den to be full of trainers and tough battles, but instead I just used Whirlpool, surfed around, and found the dragon fang on the ground. And once I picked it up, Claire burst in and finally gave me my 8th and final badge. And now it was time to head to the Indigo Plateau to battle the Elite Four. And while I made my way, I got to encounter one of my favorite dialogue lines in all of the Pokemon franchise.
So sick.
With the incredible music playing in the background and the information that you've just walked into the Kanto region, it's just a super exciting and pivotal moment in the game. Now as the player, it's been confirmed that the two regions, Kanto and Johto, are neighbors, and that there's more to explore when we check the Pokegear map. Just a really exciting feeling. If you played Generation 2 when it first came out, I'd love to hear about your reaction to revisiting Kanto whenever you first talked to this NPC, or whenever you first sailed to Kanto. What did that feel like? Were you excited, or was this your first Pokemon game and you never had been to Kanto before? Let me know. The route leading up to Victory Road had an unbelievable amount of trainers, but there are 0 trainers in Victory Road itself, so I guess that makes sense. It's kind of weird to have a Victory Road with no trainers. Well, except the rival. I battled Cookie one more time at the end of Victory Road, and for the first time ever throughout this playthrough, I finally felt like I was at the same playing field as my opponent when it came to levels of Pokemon. So yeah, this fight wasn't too bad, and I actually was feeling pretty nice and good and prepared until I checked the levels of the Elite Four trainers. Yeah, my team was absolutely not ready for the Elite Four, so I just spent 2 nights grinding up my team in Victory Road. I'm sure I could have battled the Elite Four with my team as is, and I would have been fine, but I definitely would have struggled way more than I did. I ended up teaching Silly the Shadow Ball TM that Morty gave me all of those gym badges back, and it was a huge game changer for the Elite Four. All right, this team is busted. We have Silly the Girafarig. She has been carrying. One day Weepinbell will evolve. We just gotta make our way to Kanto. But Roku City learned Razor Leaf recently, which was very exciting. Sriracha is slaying. We should probably pop an item on him. Lemon is here. Wake is here as well. Just the Gyarados sprite looks so cool. And as you can see, he only knows HMs and Hydro Pump because I was too lazy to, go get like an HM Pokemon friend. So that's the squad. All right, here we go. For a lot of these fights, I was able to just start with Silly and Shadow Ball or Psybeam my way to victory. Seeing Koga in the Elite Four is really cool, and it's another callback to Kanto and shows the player that some time really has passed. Oh, he's gonna have a lot of bug types probably. This is a bomb and we must be careful. We must defuse him. Oh god, no. Silly, no. Silly, please. I gotta heal that poison for sure. Oh, nice. Stop using double team. Come on. Oh, let's go. Nice. Good job, Silly. Very close. Okay, nice. 2 down. This Bruno fight was super annoying. Hitmontop just constantly read me like a book and used Detect whenever I would try to fly. Overall, Lemon's Fly, Wake's Hydro Pumps, and Silly's Psybeams made this Elite Four battle pretty smooth. Karen, the Dark type trainer, was the final fight before the champion. And I was expecting a tough fight, but really only her Umbreon gave us trouble. And now it was time for Champion Lance. Full transparency here, I had to attempt this one twice. It was so difficult for my team to take out 3 Dragonites. And I only ended up winning because of literally pure luck. Nice. Okay, I can win, I think. I don't know what he has in the back. This Elite Four was really tough for me. The level curve is really big, and I felt like I couldn't take on this challenge unless I grinded for a few nights. So that's not ideal, but I had a good amount of people tell me during some of my Twitch streams that they never had to grind levels before the Elite Four in Gen 2, so this could very well be a skill issue on my part. Regardless, my journey hasn't ended here, though it does feel like it with this incredible end credits. It's now time for truly one of the greatest post games ever. Time to set sail for the Kanto region. After meeting with Professor Elm and getting the SS ticket, I boarded the SS Aqua in Olivine City to head to the Kanto region. This SS Aqua theme that plays really gives the vibe of an adventure begins. It's just such an exciting theme. I can only imagine how the kids who played Gen 1 previous to this game felt whenever they boarded the SS Aqua for the first time 25 years ago. For a lot of kids, it probably felt like they were going home. While the incredible SS Aqua music played, I battled some trainers and helped a grandfather find his granddaughter. Just like that, I was in the Kanto region. The SS Aqua dropped me off in Vermilion City, and wow, listen to that music. One of my favorite parts about the Kanto region in Generation 2 is the music. It's nostalgic, it's slow at times, and it just feels good. A lot of the songs feel a lot less tense and more sleepy, and if they're not sleepy, they're brighter. Kind of like routes 3 through 10 and 16 through 22. I love the vibes and the music so much in the Kanto region in Gen 2. I got my first Kanto badge at Lieutenant Surge's gym, and I could not believe the levels here compared to Lieutenant Surge. And some of the gym leaders here in Johto have Pokemon in the 30s. Lance had a level 50 Dragonite. If I'm being honest here, a lot of my Kanto playthrough was played in my own time because I wasn't recording that much. I never played Gen 2's Kanto before, and a lot of time I was just kind of, laying in bed playing my video game before I went to sleep. I really felt like a kid again. I had so much fun battling the gym leaders again, and more importantly, seeing this Diglett sprite. Something I found interesting while playing through the Kanto portion of the game is just how much Kanto kind of contrasts from Johto, especially in Gen 2. Johto is very traditional and historic with its legends and lore, while Kanto is like this industrial and modern region that doesn't seem to be doing the greatest. The Safari Zone is closed, Viridian Forest is no longer a forest, Mount Moon no longer this cave, Pokemon Tower in Lavender Town is now a radio tower, Cinnabar Island was literally destroyed when a volcano erupted. Just seems like a lot of destruction and industrialization has happened to the region, for better and for worse. I love what Blue says whenever you meet him for the first time in Cinnabar Island after seeing the place destroyed. He mentions not being in the mood to battle because, quote, "Take a good look around you. A volcano erupts, and just like that, a whole town disappears." We can go winning and losing in Pokemon, but if nature so much as twitches, we can lose in a second. That's the way it is. Okay, true. Kanto is just a very different region than Johto, and a very different region from when you left it in Gen 1. But the reality of this emptiness in Kanto is probably just actually due to hardware limitations, as the Kanto we see in Heart Gold and Soul Silver has a lot more life to it. And something interesting to think about is how that upbeat and lively music I mentioned earlier in Kanto kind of contrasts the livelihood of what Kanto actually has to offer. But despite the emptiness, there is still something so fun about almost speedrunning the Kanto region's gym badges and seeing what's different from the Kanto region we are used to. It's such an epic post-game that honestly doesn't even feel like a post-game at all. I have this really bad habit of whenever I beat a main story in a video game, I put it down and I'm like, okay, I'll get to that post game later. And then I literally never get to that post game later. I'm just not much of a post game person for some reason. I really don't know why. It's a bad trait. But finding out I get to explore the Kanto region, even as somebody who isn't the biggest Kanto region person, was just too much of an exciting opportunity. Now, how do I feel about Generation 2 after all of this, after playing Pokemon Gold? Well, I can certainly tell you that the best way to experience Generation 2 is to play Crystal, but my overall thought is just, wow, I really do love the Johto region and the experience you get playing Generation 2 and the Johto region games. I love the music so much, and I love the new features it added, like the day and night cycles, the timed events, and the legendary Pokemon are incredible. And speaking of legendaries, I'm sure you noticed a huge lack in them in this video, and that's because I didn't catch them. I actually want to shiny hunt them in the future, so I let them be for now. I think it's easy for people to look back on Generation 2 and be like, oh my god, these games suck, the inventory management, the Pokemon are so boring, but for what Generation 2 was at the time of its release, I feel like this is just such a huge leap in content and an incredible step in the right direction. But you know, it is obviously a game that is a product of its time. Is the level curve terrible? Yes, I can agree with that. Did that keep me from having fun? No. Pokemon Gold had so much to offer and kept me coming back to play every single day. I was so excited to wake up and get a new custom ball made from Kurt, or check the lottery corner at the radio tower every single day. Generation 2 definitely has some flaws, but there is something just so beautiful about these games and their remakes that provide such a new and special experience for brand new Pokemon fans, and something nostalgic and emotional for the returning fans. And I think Generation 2 gave us the greatest final battle of all time on top of Mount Silver. Red, the final boss of the Johto region's level curve,